So Kajabi is an all-in-one platform for growing your business, for selling courses, memberships, or coaching programs. It just overall massively elevates your business when clients have a smooth experience, that it's very clear and it's not confusing.
Welcome to Marketing and Mindset for Wellness Coaches, the podcast for health coaches and wellness entrepreneurs just like you who are building a business, making the world a healthier place, and designing a first-class life. I'm your host, Kim Foster, MD and certified business coach, and I'm on a mission to help you up-level your strategy and raise your mindset so you can truly thrive and grow your business. Let's get started. Hello, dear listener. Now, if you are looking to elevate your online coaching business and create a wow experience for your client, and one of the tools that you've been considering to help you do this is Kajabi, and you're wondering if this platform is right for you, then this episode is definitely for you. My guest today is the lovely Elizabeth Averyanova, who is a website designer, a brand strategist, and the owner of branding and design agency Studio Classica. And besides doing beautiful work as a designer, one of the things that Elizabeth specializes in is Kajabi. And she is a true professional when it comes to this all-in-one platform. And in this episode, we talk about how to use the streamlined automation of Kajabi to take the hustle out of your daily tasks and give you a little bit of your life back by allowing you to actually work less. I think you're going to love listening to our conversation, and I think it's going to answer a lot of the questions that you might have about Kajabi. Now, funny story, one thing I want to mention is that when we recorded this interview, Elizabeth was 37 weeks pregnant. That's right, due to deliver in just a couple of weeks. And if you yourself have been pregnant or really just been around somebody who was at the end of her pregnancy, then you know it does not take much for a full-term pregnant woman to get out of breath. Now, my podcast editor is a wizard, but you might hear Elizabeth trying to catch her breath in a few spots. Bless her heart. I mean, let's give it up for the superwoman who is not only killing it in her own business, living a fabulous life in Europe with her family, and about to bring a new baby into this world, but she also manages to find the time to do podcast interviews and all the things. I mean, it's pretty impressive, right? All right, that said, let's get to my conversation with Elizabeth. All right, today I am very excited to be chatting with Elizabeth Averyanova, who is a website designer, a brand strategist, and the owner of branding and design agency Studio Classica. So welcome to the podcast, Elizabeth. It is great to have you here.
Hi, Kim. Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here and chat with you.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you here. I'm really looking forward to our conversation. I'm really excited to learn from you and talk in particular about the Kajabi platform, which is something I know that you specialize in, and I'm really looking forward to learning, how Kajabi can help coaches to create a wow experience for their clients, which is something that I know that you help people to do. And I definitely know that many of my listeners are going to be really interested in this topic too. So I'm excited to dive into everything that you've got to share. However, before we get there, I would just like to give my listeners a bit more context about you first. I'd love to hear a bit more about your story and what was the journey that brought you to the work that you're doing now.
Yes, I'm excited to share that. It's been a long journey for me. And so we can start 10 years ago, where I have a background in architecture, and that's what I studied at university. And I love that field. And so right after university, I was in the job market, and it was a time where there wasn't a lot of opportunities. It was right after the global economy, market crash, right? So I was searching, but then I just decided to go online and start trying to offer my design services and my design skills, right? And now it sounds so easy, but in the beginning, it was very, very challenging. So I should say around the same time, I met my husband, who's also an architect. And so we both had this architecture background. And I ended up moving to his home country, which is in Europe, the small country of Latvia in Northern Europe. All this is happening at the same time where we're young, we're searching for jobs, but I also decided to move to his country and move to Europe because I love Europe. And we just decided to go online and try to see what we could do in the process. So we got our start online on freelancing sites and offering our design skills. And those beginning projects evolved into more and more projects and more and more projects. And long story short, it's been 9 years now since we started that. So 9 years since we started our business, our design business, basically.
Okay, that's amazing. So you're right, that is quite a journey, and like across to a totally different continent and all kinds of stuff, and trying to make it work at kind of a difficult time for the economy. But it's amazing that you guys were able to, pivot together. So tell me a bit more about like what is it that you do now? Like who do you help and how do you help them?
Yeah, that has definitely been an evolution since the beginning. So we were offering architecture services and a lot of different kinds of digital design services. And about 2 years ago, I evolved into really focusing on branding and web design services. And before that time, I had done it like unofficially for clients, and I taught myself web design a long time ago, like literally 15 years ago. But it was only for my own personal projects. But something about 2 years ago, I had a shift of I still loved architecture, but I was kind of feeling burnt out, and I had this opportunity to start offering web and branding design services, especially to coaches. And it
Mm.
came about in a sort of interesting way because I was feeling like burnout about what I was doing and really wanted a change in my life. And I saw other people, especially health and fitness coaches and wellness coaches. This was really where it all started. So I saw other coaches sort of doing what they're doing, and I was like, "Oh, maybe I could do something like that." So, like, something
Mm.
totally different, not design. And I ended up joining a high ticket, like, a coaching program to learn how to be a coach, an online coach, and how to build a coaching business. And it was a 3-month intensive, and I could say during those 3 months, I learned so much more about online business, online marketing than I
Mm.
had maybe in the 7 years prior to that of running our business.
Mm. Right. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was just eye-opening. And I went into it with the intention of pivoting my whole life into a coaching business. But what ended up happening was I merged the 2 skills of my design background and this new coaching knowledge into what I'm doing now, which is like an amazing evolution, like merging these 2 passions and interests and now serving other coaches through branding and design.
That's awesome. Okay, so you learned all about this. You got exposed and learned so much about the coaching world, but then instead of just simply becoming a coach yourself, what you did is combined your passion for design and website design to actually work with coaches to help them up level their online presence. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. And so really having a background understanding of the coaching business models and coaching frameworks, and merging that with the design and now helping them grow their business and really accelerate their success.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so let's talk about Kajabi. Now, I know that some people have heard of Kajabi, and of course, some people haven't. But so for those of us, listening who don't know what Kajabi is, maybe we should just start there. Can you just kind of give us a brief explanation of what the Kajabi platform actually is?
All right, Kajabi is one of my favorite tools. So Kajabi is an online marketing and all-in-one platform for growing your business, for selling courses, memberships, or coaching programs. And it's really helps accelerate your growth, but also helps streamline your business into an all-in-one platform.
Hmm. Okay, that sounds awesome. So tell me a little bit more about how it does that. Like, how does it sort of streamline everything for a coach who's online?
Yeah, that's great. Let's dive into, like, the details because
Yeah.
it's great. It sounds great, like, "Oh, streamlined all-in-one platform," but,
Yeah,
like,
amazing.
okay, what does it actually do? So, you can create courses, memberships. You can use it for email marketing, so your email list, your newsletters, as well as email automations.
Mm.
You use it for accepting payments and getting paid and selling, your offers and having a really streamlined checkout process.
That's awesome.
You can use it for housing your whole website, so your main website, it's a great platform for that. You can also use it for sales pages or opt-in or landing pages for your free lead magnets or your webinars, live ones or pre-recorded ones.
That's new to me. So, like, you can set up a page, is that what you're saying? Like, with embedded, like, recording of your evergreen webinar?
Yeah, exactly,
Oh,
exactly.
awesome. Okay, that's cool. I like that. One thing that I'm wondering it's coming up is like, how would you know if you should switch to Kajabi? Like, let's say you're using a different platform right now for housing your stuff or your like courses, if you've got courses and things like that, and you're using a different platform. How would you know? Like, what are some of the things that you would consider before switching to Kajabi?
Mhm, mhm. So, should you switch to Kajabi? This is, like, the
Yeah.
most popular question I get. Almost every week, somebody asks me in, like, Instagram, and I love answering it. So, there's some things to consider. It's not the right thing for everyone,
Hmm.
but the things you should consider are you currently using 5, 6, or 7 different platforms, and you feel, like, scattered across multiple platforms? If
Mm.
yes, Kajabi can help really streamline that into maybe just one platform or 1 or 2 platforms. That's a common thing I see with especially among coaches.
Mm.
Another thing to consider is if you are doing a lot of manual work, like manually creating invoices to send to your clients or manually creating contracts, or you are like your onboarding process for a new client, if it involves a lot of steps that require your time and you don't feel
Right.
streamlined.
Right. So, like, if you're behind the scenes doing like a lot of manual admin type stuff, and that if you could streamline and automate a lot of that stuff, it would free up some more of your time, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a very common thing I see, for among coaches that are maybe 1 or 2 years into their business, and they've had good success at this point, but they started at the beginning with, like, using, PayPal for sending invoices, using Lead Pages for creating their sales pages,
Hmm.
using Mailchimp for email marketing. So that's already 3 platforms,
Yeah.
and, generally, I get a list that has a couple other things. So,
Yeah. Right.
Kajabi just helps you eliminate that and save a bunch of time.
Yeah, because you can have everything happening just on that one platform rather than having to integrate and flip back and forth between a number of different tools and programs.
Yeah, exactly. The third thing I like to recommend is how tech savvy are you, or how much do you like doing tech stuff? And
Right.
a lot of people I talk to don't like it, and they're not tech savvy,
Yes,
and
exactly.
that's okay. You have your own zone of genius. And so, if you're not super tech savvy and you want like really great, ready to go out of the box platform that can do a lot of things, Kajabi can be a great solution and a great thing to consider because it really simplifies the tech
Hmm.
of, for
Yeah,
example,
that
of creating your website or something.
Yeah, and I mean that's a huge thing. So many of my, community, listeners, clients, all of that are just definitely really tech presents a big struggle and a big obstacle. So anything that can make things more simplified is a welcome change for most people for sure. So, okay, that's awesome. I like the sound of all of that. I would love to talk about a bit about like branding and design, especially since you've got that like such an awesome design background and you just bring all of that to the table. So I'm wondering like what's your thoughts on Kajabi and like how it influences your branding and design as a coach, and like do you think that those kinds of factors help you to secure like higher paying clients, like all of that kind of stuff? I'd love to know your opinion on all of that.
For sure. Let's talk about branding and the design, which
Mhm.
is it's the number one way that helps you differentiate in the online space, in especially if you're feeling like it's a crowded market. Although you
Mm.
could argue that it's not, or it is crowded market, the online space, but branding and design is the number one way to differentiate yourself in this space.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that instantly helps you lead to attracting better clients, the right clients, and making easier sales in your business. And that's like the foundation of then growing your business farther.
Yeah, and what's your opinion of Kajabi's like design interface and like how it actually looks in terms of like an end product? Being a, designer and architect and you've got all of those skills. So what's your opinion of it?
Yeah, Kajabi, it's interesting. So we love designing on Kajabi, and we found that clients like it because it's easy for them to edit and maintain
Mhm.
after having a professional design it. We have seen clients who do their own pretty good design with Kajabi, so it is user friendly.
Hmm.
There are pros and cons to like the design experience in Kajabi. If you want to DIY your design and you are considering Kajabi, you could find it confusing at first or limiting. But I think that's true with any platform.
Mhm. It's true.
WordPress or Squarespace or Wix, those are some of the other main common ones. People who want to DIY, that's like I'm all about DIYing in the beginning. That's great. You learn a lot, but there's pros and cons to each of those platforms. And
Mhm.
Kajabi does make it easy, but I think to really take it to a next level, there's challenges to it. I think that's true with all the platforms, though.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. I think
Mhm.
that's true. Okay, so what you're saying is that it's a simple way to DIY if you just want to get something up and running with a least amount of fuss, but there's limitations sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a great platform for a very straightforward, easy to use experience of creating, for example, a sales page or website. But in general, we love Kajabi, and we love helping like our clients grow their Kajabi accounts by really creating a branded experience across the whole client onboarding process or the whole sales and marketing process. And for that, Kajabi is makes it beautiful experience for your clients. And so you can really create wow. So I sort of call it like a wow experience for them.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, because from their perspective, it's really, like, consistent. Like, the branding would be like, everything that they're receiving, the pages that they see, and the emails and everything, like you're saying, it can all be built out on Kajabi. So a client experience is it's like they're getting a consistent experience with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. I love that. Okay, that's great. And do you find, like, in your experience, using a platform like Kajabi, is that one of the benefits, like, that it really does create that wow experience, like you say, for your clients, like, really helps? Because I'm definitely about that. I think we had a podcast episode a few weeks ago about creating that, like, VIP feeling for your clients and
Mhm.
how that just helps so much with growing your business and getting referrals and things. So do you find that when coaches do switch and they're using Kajabi to run their business, like as their platform, that it really does help to elevate that experience?
It helps massively. We have
Mm.
seen proven results with our clients where they have greater client retention as a result. They have like greater loyalty from their clients. Like their clients
Mm.
become sort of champions and even brand how do you say evangelists.
Evangelists,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah,
Nice.
like the clients love them because they feel so like connected every step of the way with them.
Yeah,
It just overall massively elevates your business when
right.
the clients have a smooth experience that it's very clear and it's not confusing.
Yeah, because you're coming across as much more of a professional level. Like it creates that feeling, I would think, of like that you really do know what you're doing and that they're in good hands and like right from the beginning all the way through. So I love that. That's awesome. I'm kind of wondering, like, are there misconceptions about using an all-in-one platform or myths that you've heard about Kajabi that, you want to break down or anything like that?
The most common way people discover Kajabi is because they want to launch a course
Hmm.
or a membership and using an easy to use platform. So that's the most common way that people come to Kajabi. And so one of the common misconceptions is that that's the main thing it can do. And they don't always know at first all the other things that they can do with it.
Mm.
And so my recommendation is just to go and test it. Go and test the platform. Test the main thing you're trying to do, which if it's create a course, test that out. but then to test out all the other tools that it has in it.
Yes, I agree. Like most of the time, I think that people think of it as a course platform, but from what you're describing, it's way more robust than that. And I mean, do you even have to run a course? Like, what about? I know that many of my listeners are, new to building their coaching business, and they don't have a course yet, right? That's something that they often would aspire to put together eventually, but right now they don't have that. So for somebody like that, is the Kajabi platform, would it be worthwhile?
Okay, great question. So we've worked with different health and fitness coaches and wellness coaches,
Mm.
and they are in the same place where they may not have a course yet. They probably have an idea for it, right? I know
Yes,
we
most
all
people
have
do.
like we all have these ideas, and it's just not happening quite yet. So that's very common what we've seen, and so what they do have are things like group coaching program, or
Mhm.
they want to create what we've seen a lot is like a recipe type membership.
Yeah, that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, it's popular. We've dealt with many clients like that, and Kajabi is a great platform for that, and I think a lot of coaches, offer that or want to offer that, and Kajabi can help you create that with like for each week module you have, or you have group coaching call recordings, or you want to provide them resources. So all of that could be really nicely organized and then really easy for people to access through a Kajabi product with that group coaching program.
Oh, that sounds great. And that would be, I mean, I would think then as you're building out your group coaching material, then that can ultimately be turned into a course, which is one of the easiest ways I think of building a course is like just start running it as a live program and then take all of the recordings and materials that you've created and package and bundle it up into a course. But if you're running it through Kajabi, like you're saying, then it's already there on the platform. I would think it would
Mhm.
make it easier to kind of pivot that and repurpose it as a course.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly, and we've seen coaches do exactly that, and what Kajabi is doing is making a really easy platform for you as the coach to house all your materials, upload your content, upload your videos, and the alternative of that often I see is using something like a Google Drive folder to do all of
Mm,
that, which works, it certainly works, but using, like, Kajabi, it just looks so much more professional
right.
and
Yeah.
a whole new level.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. And so when you're working with people, like your clients, are you helping them to do all of that stuff? Like get it all set up and get everything all uploaded and branded and tell me where you come into this whole process.
Okay, so one common situation is where we have clients who are on other platforms and they feel very scattered and just like a little bit like a mess on all these
Yeah.
platforms, and they certainly don't feel streamlined and they're a bit overwhelmed. So they come to us and they're like, okay, we're thinking about using Kajabi. I think I want to switch. And I'm like, okay, let's talk about your goals. And they share like their biggest business goals with me, and based on that, I give a recommendation like, yes, okay, Kajabi would be perfect for that based on your 6 to 12 month goals with your business.
Hmm.
And then what we do is we make the plan of what are the priorities of achieving those goals and through the use of Kajabi. So oftentimes that looks like building their core website pages, but a lot of times that actually starts with focusing on their main revenue generating offer.
Mm,
So that could be like building out a nice sales page, building a checkout page, like a nice thank you page, setting up the whole like behind the scenes automations with the
mm,
tech and the onboarding, and then oftentimes connecting those sales pages into like that group coaching program that we just talked about, or into the
mm.
course or a membership.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That sounds awesome. I love that. So, what do you suggest for people who are kind of thinking about who are liking what they're hearing and they're liking the idea of the streamlined tech systems and combining all of their different platforms into one thing, and they're liking the idea of creating that really up-leveled, streamlined experience for their clients and all of that kind of stuff. How do you suggest that people generally get started?
So, how to get started? Again, go and test Kajabi first off because there are alternatives to consider.
Hmm.
So first off, test the platforms, and then two, get really clear on what are those goals for your business. And I always suggest also get really clear on your why behind those goals,
Mm. Yes.
and that really helps drive your decisions moving forward. And then how to
Mm.
get started with Kajabi. specifically, besides just going and testing it, is to focus on one paid offer, to focus on creating that or using Kajabi to somehow launch and create that paid offer in your business.
Yeah, that's great. Like to keep it nice and simple, just one paid offer. Don't, when you're first starting with something, I mean, it's a powerful platform, right? There's a lot of different things that you can do with it, but I like your advice to just start with one thing, keep it nice and simple, because I would think that you'd be learning how to use the platform as you go, right? Then using like how to figure out how to formulate and construct all of that stuff.
And yeah, because the biggest thing that we do is we compare ourselves to other business owners,
Yeah.
or it's a very common thing, and so we see other people with really established online platforms or online Kajabi accounts, and that's your goal. That's what you want, but you can't build it all overnight. It takes time to
Exactly.
layer those things in.
Oh yeah, I'm always talking to people about that. Just give yourself permission to be on the journey. It's okay. Like, you'll get there one step at a time. So, yes. Okay, I love that. Okay, so we are just about out of time, Elizabeth, but this has been so great. You've shared a ton of useful nuggets with us and really given us kind of an inside look at Kajabi and whether it's right for us and what it can do for your coaching business and all that sort of stuff. But before we go, I'm just wanting to know where our listeners can go to learn more about you specifically and connect with you and see if you could help them.
Okay, yes, I'm available at our website, our design studio's website, which is studioclassica.com. And you can also find me on Instagram, and I will say my name, but it's hard to spell. So check the show notes.
Yeah, I'll put all of this in the show notes for sure.
It's at Elizabeth Averyanova on Instagram. So that's Averyanova.
I love it. Do you spend a lot of time on Instagram? Is that the best place to chat with you and connect with you?
Yeah, that's a great place. You can ask me questions about Kajabi. You can also see a lot of our portfolio work there and connect.
That's awesome.
Okay, so there you have it. I hope that you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. What a trooper. Seriously, I was so impressed to learn how far along in her pregnancy Elizabeth was when we had this conversation, and she just had so much great stuff to share. I would really love to hear your thoughts about this one. Are you thinking about using Kajabi in your business? Did this episode help answer some of your questions? Find me and Elizabeth on Instagram. You will find the links in the show notes and let us know. Okay, that is a wrap for today. If you haven't taken a minute yet to rate and review this podcast, I would so appreciate it. It really just takes a second, but it makes a big difference and it would mean a lot to me. Okay, as always, I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Have an amazing week, and I will talk to you again very soon. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Now, if you enjoyed this episode and you're excited to take your coaching business to the next level, then I would love to invite you to attend my free online class called How to Build a Six-Figure Health Coaching Business Using One Signature Program. And that's even if you're a brand new coach. I will be revealing the 3 behind-the-scenes secrets to financial freedom without exhaustion, burnout, or being a slave to social media. In this free class, you'll learn the exact blueprint to having the impact and life you desire, even if you're not sure how to make it happen right now. I'll also tell you about the single biggest mistake new health and wellness coaches make and what to do instead. And I'll be teaching you exactly how to design a signature program step by step, including how to price your offer. And yes, I give you real numbers. To attend this class, all you have to do is sign up at drkimfoster.com/6figures and reserve your seat for free. I will see you there.